All right, good morning. You're welcome to another edition of Import-Export Platform Facebook Live from 3 Best Trade Academy. This morning we'll continue our discussion on export market entry strategies. And today we are looking at part 5. And our focus today is on crossing the hurdles. Crossing the hurdles in securing an export contract. Crossing the hurdles in securing an export contract. Mr. Victor Olusegun Kende, thank you very much for joining. Good morning. Crossing the hurdles in securing an export contract. And that's our focus this morning. We've discussed several other issues in the past, but this morning we are looking at crossing that hurdle. There are about 5 hurdles that typically you will need to cross, directly or indirectly, in the mind of a prospective buyer to show him or her that you are really serious, ready, and capable of doing the transaction that you want to do. And this hurdle include credibility hurdle, companion hurdle, character hurdle, competence hurdle, and cash hurdle. These are the hurdles you need to cross to be able to sell yourself to the prospective buyer that you are capable of doing what you claim you can do in terms of supply that he desires, the supply that he wants. And this is so important because inability to cross this hurdle will mean that the buyer will not take you serious. The buyer will not accept, won't even listen to you or discuss with you. Talk less of now securing the contract. Remember yesterday I was talking about this issue of credibility and the fact that it's one of the major challenges we are facing in Nigeria. And I was talking about the fact that even when you go online, you find a potential buyer who has indicated interest, that is interested in buying this product on the platform that you belong to, and then you contact him, he might choose not to respond to you. And why will he not respond to you? Credibility. 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 He's just not interested in responding to you because he doesn't see you as being credible enough. Sorry, I'm on the road and there's traffic and the siren is passing and blowing. Supposed to start by 8, but I have to go somewhere, and I still want to ensure this is done before 9. All right, so Onyeka Tornado, thank you very much for joining. Good morning and welcome. So I was talking about the issues around credibility, and that your credibility needs to be demonstrated before the buyer. The buyer needs to be sure you will deliver like you have planned, and that all your plan to deliver is okay, Mr. Shegu. All right, I'll be waiting to hear from you. He said I'm coming for you. I remember what we discussed, so I'm waiting to hear from you. Let me know when you're ready. Okay, so like I was saying, the credibility is a major challenge that we are facing, and we need to find a way to fix it. You need to find alternative way of dealing with the issue, else you will not be able to make that desired progress as far as export business is concerned. So what we'll be doing this morning is to talk about how to overcome the hurdles of credibility, the hurdles of companion, the hurdles of character, the hurdles of competence, and the hurdles of cash. The hurdle of credibility is basically saying, can the supplier trust you to perform? How do you convince the supplier that you can perform? The hurdles of character is saying, can the supplier trust you with your word that you will deliver the right quality, you will deliver on time and in time? The hurdles of competence is saying, can the supplier trust you with your word to deliver the right quality and the right quantity? And the order of cash is saying, Can the supplier, can the buyer rather trust your word that you have enough fund to fund this project? You will not be like people who often call me and say, Mr. Dele, I have a project, a contract, and I'm looking for funding. And then I will respond that we are not banks, so we will not be able to fund. Because the person has secured a contract, and it is after the contract has been secured that he is now looking for funding for the project. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? That means the person does not have cash to handle the transaction, but he has painted a picture before a buyer to the extent of convincing a buyer that he has what it takes to execute the project, whereas he does not have what it takes. He does not have what it takes, but he has convinced the buyer that he has what it takes to execute the project. And at the end of the day, he's unable to execute the project and is giving other people from that same country a very bad name regarding his ability to be able to perform, because the other people will now be seeing us, Nigeria, now as being incompetent because this person said he can do it and is not able to do it. So he sees everybody as the same. Why? Because of someone's that lack credibility and have disappointed him. So what that is telling you clearly is that if you are not credible or you cannot demonstrate credibility before a buyer, he's going to transfer that to other people from your country. Other people in your country will have to provide some serious level of information, some higher level of information to convince him that you can perform. Why? Just because someone have messed up. Just because someone have messed up. And that's the challenge of credibility. That's the challenge of credibility. That's the challenge of credibility. So credibility is very important. Like I said, credibility shows that you have done it well before. So what are you going to use to show credibility? The documentation of your previous shipment, the bill of lading, the invoice, the packing list, the quality inspection report, all that evidently show that you have done these things successfully before are the things that provide credibility. All the things that evidently show they have done these things successfully before are the things that show credibility. Peter Omeki, thank you very much for joining. Good morning. Lala Yalaba, thank you very much for joining. Good morning. Then companion. You need to show the people that you have supplied and partner that you work with. Who are those you work with? Who are the people you have relationship with? Now, how do you show this? From documentation. The company documentation, the company organogram, relevant information necessary for them to know that even if you are sick, someone else will be available to get the job done. And this is very important. Very, very important. That you have the right companion, the right network, the right team to be able to get the job done is a very important element that will demonstrate to the buyer that you're a credible person, you are serious, and you can get this job done. Character. You need to show the buyer that your word is your bond, that you will stand by your word to ship. How do you demonstrate this? Show the contract you have before. The contract will state when you are supposed to ship, and show the bill of lading of the shipment that was done. If the contract says shipment of 100 metric tons must be made on or before 30th of June on the contract, and in the document you show, it showed that the shipment of 100 metric tons was actually made before 30th of June. Character. Then competence. Competence. Competence is showing that you are not just going to be able to ship the right quantity, you can also ship the right quality. You know exactly what it means, and now to be able to meet the quality specification expected by the buyer. You know exactly what it means, and now to be able to meet the quality specification expected by the buyer. Just stay at the door, stay at the gate. Just stay at the gate so that they have enough discipline. Sorry for the distraction. So you have enough credibility to be able to convince enough competence rather, to show that you have shipped the right quality. Like I said, this quality can be demonstrated from a number of factors. And one of the ways to show this is a document called the inspection report, pre-shipment inspection report. The cash will be demonstrated by your account statement. Now, all that I've talked about are very vital information that will make whoever you are dealing with to trust and believe your words. Because now you are providing information that you are credible, you have good results, you have good companion, you have good character, you are very competent, and you have what the fund to execute this contract. By the way, credibility is consistency of result. Character is consistency of conduct. Competence is consistency of performance. And companion is consistency of relationship. And then you have the fund also. So all these hurdles must be demonstrated in your mail to the prospective buyer to give them some level of assurance that they're not dealing with 419. They're not dealing with a fraudster. They're not dealing with some of those Nigerians that have deceived them in the past. They're actually dealing with people who are serious, genuine, and credible. Patrick Agom, thank you very much for joining. They're dealing with people who are credible. And because they are dealing with people who are credible, it becomes a lot easier for them to believe all that you are saying. It's a big challenge today, convincing buyers that you can do what you say you can do. So crossing these hurdles become extremely important and become very vital. Remember the hurdle again: credibility, character, competence, companion, and cash. I go over that again. There is the hurdle of credibility, there is the hurdle of character, there is the hurdle of companion, there is the hurdle of competence, and there is the hurdle of cash. The reason why they are not responding to some of the mail that some people send out is because they've not been able to demonstrate that they have exactly what it takes to be able to show rather that they are credible, they have character and competence, and hence they've been able to cross this hurdle. This is a major challenge. It's a big, big challenge for anyone trying to go into export business. And like I said earlier, understandably so, because of the challenges we have. We have a big, big challenge. The challenge we have is the fact that we have built a reputation a negative reputation that have discredited us as a nation. So even when we claim we can do something, people don't believe again. Why? Because of what some of our brothers and sisters have done in the past. So these hurdles are critical. These hurdles are important. These hurdles can spell doom for trade transactions if they are not well taken care of. So it's very important. It's extremely important that you have that. Now, from what I've said, you can see that if you have not done it before, it becomes very difficult for you to be able to get a buyer. And this is why it's good you work with individuals who have done it before. Now, when you work with the individuals that have done it before, you now have a record. You might have to pay for them to work with you so that in sending that message out, they will use their own history. But when the shipment is made, the shipment can then be made in your company name. Sometimes on the bill of lading, they will put your company name stroke the company name or in care of the company name of the other party. So your company name can be on the bill of lading. Because the whole idea is for you to show that, look, you have done it before. You must find a way to show that. In fact, by the time they see evidence that you have done it before, they let down their guard. they begin to believe that, okay, remember, they are interested in this product. They want this product. They are the one that put that request online that you saw. So they want it. But they don't want to lose their money. They don't want to deal with a fraudster. They don't want to find themselves dealing with people that they don't know who he is. But by the time you provide adequate information that are verifiable, they now realize that, oh, this might be a partner that I'm looking for. They begin to let down their guards, and then it becomes easier for them to want to work with you, and eventually you can get this transaction done. Now, when you are going to send your first mail to the prospective buyer, it's very important you have what is called a full corporate offer. All exporters sending an email proposal to a potential buyer abroad should ensure that full corporate offer is attached, and such message should capture the following: company profile, short company profile, the product, the specification of the product. All these are stated in the body of the mail. All other information can be on your full corporate offer. Now, when you are talking about company profile, you then must demonstrate the credibility in the company profile. When you are putting your company profile, you must demonstrate character in the company profile. When you are putting on your company profile, you must demonstrate competence in the company profile. Now, these all dues we've talked about must be demonstrated in the company profile. That thing is bent. Must be demonstrated in the company profile. Now, the reason why they must be demonstrated is because, remember, you have to cause an order. Remember, the person will be reading this mail. Remember, he has not dealt with you before. Remember, he has concern. And you need to prove otherwise. So, you're already deemed guilty. You have to prove yourself, otherwise that you are not guilty, you are not a fraudster. So the reason for the company profile, that means the mail you are sending, what the customer will first see is about who you are, what you have done, what you could do, the relationship you have, the kind of client you have dealt with. Summary right there in the body of the mail, and with documentary evidence in the attachment. And in the attachment, you also have the full corporate offer. Full corporate offer, and then please, in your mail should have an email signature. That means your name, your full name, your designation, your phone number, your website, your email address, your domain name, and maybe your Skype ID if you're on Skype. What are the details that should be contained in the full corporate offer? Number one, seller's name and address. Number two, product description. Number three, specification. Number four, minimum order. Number five, maximum order. Number six, payment method. Number seven, payment terms. Number eight, duration for shipment. Number nine, unit price. Number 10, Incoterms. Number 11, contract period. Number 12, inspection agent. Number 13, country of origin. Now, the full corporate offer should have all this information. Let me go over them again. Number one is the seller's name. Who is selling? Then the seller's address. Where is he located? How can he be reached? Then the product description. What is the name of the product you want to sell? Yinkus Adenus, thank you very much for joining. Good morning and welcome. Then the specification. This is very important. In fact, specification will determine if they are interested. You must have the specification of your product. If it's a finished product, you still have specification, especially in terms of the content. The content. And of course, the way it's packaged. Then minimum order and maximum order. Minimum order that will make you profitable. Maximum order that you can ship. Some people will not show interest because of maximum order. If they want one container minimum per month, if they want 3 container minimum every month, and you say you can only do 1 container per month, they might not want to go into it because at the end of the day, they might have scarcity and people might be following up on them on this. Minimum order, maximum order, payment method. Payment method. Payment method is talking about how will document we exchange against goods. How will the document be exchanged against goods? That's what payment method is all about. Sorry, how will document be exchanged against payment rather, because document control the goods. So I have document as a seller, the buyer has the payment. How do we exchange it such that at the end of the day nobody is unduly exposed? How do we exchange document against goods so that nobody is unduly exposed? That's what we have to learn from the full corporate offer, for payment method. And there are options on payment method. We have the open account. I've talked about this in the past. You can check some previous video to learn about payment method in international trade. We have the open account. We have the bill for collection. We have the letter of credit. And we have the advance payment, among other ones. Those are the 4 prominent ones. Payment method, then payment terms. Payment terms. Payment term is talking about how the payment will be made. We'll give you half today. We'll give you balance tomorrow. We'll give you 50% today. We'll give you balance next week or next month. That's what payment terms deal with. Payment method and payment terms. Duration for shipment. If you have a maximum order of 3 containers, can you ship it in a month or in 2 months or in 3 months? When you are putting your duration for shipment, you are putting based on the maximum order. Duration for shipment. Then unit price. Unit price. Now, when you are quoting unit price, you must state the Incoterms. Incoterm is international commercial terms. I've talked about this in the past. When you are quoting your unit price, you must state, are you going to give the price X works, FCA, FAS, FOB, CFR, CIF, CIP, CPT, DAP, DAT, DDP. These are different Incoterms. Different Incoterms. Incoterm, like I said, is international commercial terms. Then contract period. Contract period. Now, let me go back to Incoterm first of all. That Incoterm, I can only quote FOB price at this point or FCA price at this point because I don't know other cost to destination. The fact that the person I'm talking to is in Germany does not mean that the good will be going to Germany. So I can't quote a CFR price because in CFR price, that price will include transport. But in FOB price, the price will just be priced as soon as I drop the good on the vessel in my country, the cost I incur, and my profit. Value of the goods plus profit. That's FOB. Value of the good cover the cost of production and cost of delivery to the port. And that value plus profit, FOB, is just good enough. If you put CFR or other payment method, the people will see you as being unserious, that obviously you don't even know what you are doing. Because you really do not know where the good is going to. So how come you are quoting a payment method that shows that you know where the good is going to? When you don't know where the good is going to. And you should not just assume you know where the good is going to. Why? Because it is possible you think it's going to location A, whereas it is going to location B. It's possible you think it's going to Germany because the person talking to you is in Germany, whereas it's actually going to China. Only that the broker is in Germany and the broker is what you are talking to. So under unit price, it should be unit price per unit, per carton, per whatever it is, unit. But it has to be FOB price. Then contract period. How long do you want this contract to last? How long do you want this contract to last? When will you be willing to pull out? What will make the end of this contract? Is it just a timeline? Or the shipment? Typically people want the shipment. The timeline is still there. but they always put it there. If the shipment has been concluded, the contract is automatically terminated. But if the contract is not concluded, the shipment is not concluded, the contract remains in force until conclusion. Then inspection agent. The good must be inspected before you ship. Any transaction that you don't do inspection before shipment makes you to be running the risk of getting low grade when good arrive at destination, and the buyer can claim the grade is low. But the interesting thing is that if you do the result, the pre-shipment inspection, you can avoid that anomaly. As a matter of fact, pre-shipment inspection is so critical and crucial that it can solve about 60% of the fraud issue in international trade. Pre-shipment inspection. And lastly, where the good is going to be shipped from. Don't assume also because you are writing from Nigeria, then the good must be shipped from Nigeria. The good can be shipped from somewhere else. These are the dynamics of international trade. Remember, we're discussing full corporate offer under the export market entry strategy. That after you have overcome the order, you need to send that in your first mail to respond to the request of a buyer on the platform, you should put your company profile that demonstrates your credibility, your character, your competence, your companion, and your cash. And that you should attach, you will demonstrate that in your writing on the body of the mail, but you attach relevant document in that mail. Then your full corporate offer, talking about what you really want to sell to this person, is also attached to the same mail. And eventually, you will be able to increase your chance of getting the right response from the buyer or potential buyer. All right, thank you very much for listening again this morning. My name is Dele Ayimibo from 3 Best Trade Academy. This is Facebook Live Import-Export platform. We do it every day, 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. So I will see you in the evening again as we continue the conversation. Understanding Export Market Entry Strategy, Part 6. Bye for now and have a great day at work.